Hi guys, it's Nate and we're back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about one of the most controversial BTS albums yet, Arirang. My friend and I actually went over to my friend's house and I had a sleepover at her house and we stayed up till 12 like proper US Army, and we listened to the album. Now me and her personally, we both thought the album was great. We do have different music tastes than other army, and that was made clear pretty quickly. But I just kind of wanted to walk through my personal opinions and thoughts on the Arirang album, as well as the current uproar that is happening online right now, especially with people selling tickets and boycotting and unstanding BTS. We're just going to start with my personal opinion of the album. Overall, I rated the album 7 out of 10. I haven't been in Army for very long. I've been in Army since about the end of 2023, mid 2023, but between that time, I haven't listened to all of their discography, but I've listened to most of it. This is a very unique sound for them. This is not music that I'm not unprivy to. I grew up in the US. I'm black. I know that they used a lot of black producers and musicians that are credited on a lot of the songs. So I think that US Western sound is what we're hearing on the new album, which has people a little bit in disarray. I'm gonna go down one by one and talk about my rating for each song. Body to Body was really good. Extremely freaked out. Hooligan. Watch this beat go and hooligan. So I rated Aliens a 4 out of 10. I know a lot of people really liked Aliens. I didn't like Aliens as much because it felt like there was a lot going on. It felt very overstimulating. Flat. Play this in the club, please. I rated this a 7 out of 10. That is a song I definitely will be in the club dancing to. Also, you guys will have to ignore my extremely messy room. I just moved in, so sorry. I told my friend to power through work and stuff because she's not happy with her job. We're going to Lollapalooza. She's like, you know what? You're so right, Queen, because this ass. Next up was 2.0. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I just was not impressed with 2.0. It just was chill. It was just very calm in comparison to everything else. For the first, it was just calm in terms of tone for the first half of the album. It felt very calm to me. I just wasn't impressed. Number 29, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. I loved the bell. It's a sacred bell in Songdok, Songdok, South Korea. Songdok, South Korea. I hope I'm saying that right. I really am. Hold on. King Sondok, the sacred bell of King Sondok, South Korea's national treasure, number 29. I feel like where they placed this bell and the sound of it, just the one, it was perfect because it felt like one, I felt like my body recalibrate, re-equilibrize. There was vibrations. It just felt like the midpoint of them being like, hey, okay, we're gonna slow it down for this next half. I want you guys to chill out, listen to this gorgeous, beautiful, historic national treasure. Just shut up and chill. A lot of people are calling it lazy, which I view as incredibly disrespectful. They are sharing one of their national treasures with us, and the title of the album is Arirang. People are online saying right now, oh, the album isn't Korean enough for it to be called Arirang, this, that, and the third. They put one of South Korea's national treasures in the album separately in a solo, and people are calling that lazy. Swim is a 5 out of 10. With visuals attached, it's an 8 out of 10. And when I say with visuals attached, I mean specifically BTS. There's nothing wrong with Lily Reinhardt, but we're going to talk about that in a second. So Merry Go Round is a 6 out of 10 for me. It's really pretty. It's vocal heavy. It's very beautiful. I love it. I know that I'm supposed to be rating this with a clear mind, clear conscience, this, that, and the third. But my favorite BTS song ever is Dimple. So so all songs I hold to the same standard as Dimple. So normal, I did not rate. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It kind of resembles older BTS, and I think that's what a lot of people were expecting with this new album because it was marketed that way. Like Animals sounds like it could be, because it has a very sensual and sultry feel. I feel like it's a song that you could cry to. So I put that at a 6 out of 10. They Don't Know About Us, 4 out of 10. It's just flat to me. One More Night. Oh, 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. So Please, it reminds me of 2020 to like 2022 Brockhampton and Don Tolliver. And my friend that I was listening to my friend that I was listening to it with, she said that it sounded like SpongeBob, like Pearl's 16th birthday song. It's all about you, girl, on your 16th birthday. I forced her to pause the song because I needed to find that and listen to it. And I'm just gonna let you guys do that for yourself. But Please, I rated a 9 out of 10. It's a really good song. I enjoyed it. It's something I am comfortable listening to every day. So Into the Sun, I rated it a 2 out of 10. The auto tune makes it sound extremely childish and elementary, but the auto tune throws me off so bad because they don't need it. It's not necessary, and it's bogus that they had it on that track in the first place. Overall, the album was a 7 out of 10. I enjoyed the album thoroughly. I had a really good time with my friend as we were hyping ourselves up for BTS. We made these dope, yummy bowls. They were so good. So, yeah, 10 out of 10 experience. Honestly, the album was a 7 out of 10. And that was kind of just like the median of all the songs that I rated. I do want to point out I have no credentials in music. I don't know anything about music theory. I'm just someone who listens to music. So don't take my rating or my opinions as law. You know what I mean? I'm not a professional. I don't. I'm not in the studio. These are all just my personal opinions. I love BTS. I still plan on attending their concert, but there are a few things that need to be addressed further. The teaser, the animation. Now, I don't blame BTS directly as a group. And the only reason I say that because they were not the animators. They weren't the producers. We will honestly be lucky if they were even in the drawing room when when this was being storyboarded. I don't hate them. I have deep feelings about Hybe, but I don't hate them. I feel like the people who handled that animation did so extremely carelessly. It lacked tact, it lacked respect. In that animation, there should have been no white people because at the time where Arirang, the 7 Korean men, were at Howard University, they had been not allowed to enter other universities. And a university full of black people during the Jim Crow era opened their arms and said, yes, everyone deserves an education. Come on, come on, come, come, come. But the concept of someone doing that to my people is just so. If I were to, for any reason, shape, or form, it would still be wrong. But if I were to misrepresent someone else's culture in an art piece, I would be torn to shreds. I'd never have work again. I might as well like give it up. You know what I mean? I would need to find some way to survive, and my options would be few and far between. Those consequences for me as a black woman would be severe. So to not have those same kind of consequences be inflicted upon people who are mispainting my heritage and my culture is incredibly disgusting, and to do so in a time, again, the Jim Crow era, was what they did was insolent. When groups do stuff like that, when groups, companies do stuff like that, it's really embarrassing to be a part of the K-pop community as a black person when companies do stuff like that, because people who don't know K-pop and who aren't into K-pop or K-pop communities are only blaming the faces. You know what I'm saying? I.e., they're only blaming BTS. They're not blaming the company. But even the people who do know about the separation between face of the brand and the people who own the brand, you know what I'm saying? Even they consider those one. Really embarrassing for for black fans. It is. Honestly, I would love for Howard to come out and say something. Howard, if you're listening, if you're watching, please, please, please come out and condemn. Please come out and condemn that animation. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. let's also talk about the marketing for the album. So I've seen a couple of things where it's kind of alluded to that they're going to be bringing back the old BTS, that they're going back to their roots, that they're really bringing in their Korean culture and things like that, things of that matter. And I can definitely understand why people are so upset. You have no right to tell these men that they aren't Korean enough, or that they didn't put didn't make the album Korean enough or anything like that. I think the album was poorly marketed. Not poorly marketed, but mismarketed. There's a complete disconnect between what was said the album was going to be and what the album actually ended up being. We got a rap album, and it did have a very heavy Western feel to it. Um, it kind of feels like their Dark and Wild era a little bit, except a little older. Obviously, they're real grown. People aren't just saying, "Oh, the album isn't Korean enough." No, there are people on the internet telling them to disown their Koreanness. Why would you tell them that? Freedom of speech does not mean freedom of consequences. So, on the topic of the album, one user said, "So we wait 4 years for a new BTS video, and what we get is a white girl running around looking confused for 90% of the video. Cool, cool, cool." Now, a lot of people were upset by this remark, specifically because, Lily Reinhardt is the white girl that is running around looking confused for 90% of the video. In terms of swim, maybe it's because I don't completely understand the Korean language. I did not understand the concept of there being anybody at all, besides BTS, being on the ship and running around. And as a character, no idea why that woman was there. Hi guys, it's Editing Tanae here. I apologize for my lack of couth, but I just wanted to let you guys know that you can definitely go and check out my Kofi in my bio. It's where people support me. I don't have a membership or anything. It's just where you can like tip me if you feel like it. Kisses. I hope y'all enjoy the rest of the video. Another comment reads, "Army here. I don't like the new album. There's nothing Korean about it. It's so disappointing. Yes, I'm a fan and I will not instantly like anything that BTS puts out. I doubt I will listen to the album again. Why call it Arirang and have American crappy songs on it? BTS, you misfired big time with this album." The thing about people arguing that this album is American, the album is black. The album is black. What's with this crappy Western Western music, this rap, this awful da da. This is an example of something that is microaggressive. Because if you can listen to that album and you've been in the U.S., you know that that whole album was not American music. That was black music, and heavily influenced by black music. This is just a picture of me because I thought people were joking when they said that they didn't like the album. But I got on Threads the morning after, my whole page, people like just losing it actively. There's nuance. And I don't believe that any one person is going to be right about this entire situation. This person wrote on Threads, "I've just finished listening to the new BTS album and I absolutely hated it aside from one song. I had a feeling that the past few years they spent not in the military but in an American prison. Most songs sound like some sort of underground club background music. They sound just like noise to me, and I hate that I can barely hear the boys' voices because of the heavy vocoder. This album doesn't sound like BTS at all, and I understand that they grow and change. However, I just can't listen to music that I hate." Now, this was one of 3 threads that she had made, but I only bothered to include this one for one reason. I had a feeling that the past few years they spent not in the military but in an American prison. You already know what I'm about to say. I know exactly what she means when she says American prison. And I know exactly what she's envisioning. All in all, do I think BTS had a terrible album? No. I don't. I don't think the album was bad at all. I think that the marketing was poor. I think that the marketing plan, again, poor. or maybe was just poorly communicated to BTS. Music is subjective, not everybody is going to like it. These are just my personal opinions and views. I actually have been coming to BTS's defense. Main reason being, I can't defend the Howard video, the animation. I won't defend Hybe on that. And BTS are grown ass men. Low key, I know that they've seen it. They probably should have spoken up and or educated themselves before including an HBCU, and they probably didn't give anything to Howard, like money wise. So I feel like that was also disrespectful. I am, however, going to clap back at people that are saying, oh, they're not Korean enough, they're losing their Korean identity, da da da. You can say that the album is not Korean enough. That is fine. 98% of the album is in English. That's fine. I totally hear and understand what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? But don't strip them of their Korean identity because you don't like the music that they put out. That is heinous, diabolical work. And not something I will tolerate like anywhere in the vicinity of me. I'm not scared to block people, and me and my block button, we are best friends, very well acquainted. And that list, that list is long and it is thick, and I will continue to add to it. For people who are continuing to be racist, I don't have time for that. I don't tolerate racism in any form or capacity. So, um, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I appreciate all your love and support. I will talk to you on the next video. Bye.